a lot of times we get clients who just don't want anything to have to bother with it. So they just, they just sign it or they just hit no, 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 no. And then they just send it back to us. And then the buyer buys the house and then discovers that there is something indeed that you should have known about, then you could be on the hook. And if you do not live in the home, so you want to make sure you indicate, I don't live in the home. So I don't have intimate knowledge of what's going on in the home right now. So what do sellers need to know about filling out disclosures when you sell your house in California? Here it is. So when you sell a house, it's no secret. You just get scores and scores of paperwork. We send over lots and lots of paperwork to our clients to fill out and to sign. And in that, there's going to be a little packet there, and it's going to have disclosures for you to fill out and sign. And a lot of times we get clients who just don't want anything to have to bother with it. So they just, they just sign it or they just hit no, 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 no. And then they just send it back to us. And I would caution you against that, because as a seller in California, it is your duty. You have a statutory obligation to disclose material facts to a buyer that you are aware of. So if you go through your whole entire disclosure packet and you just select no, and you've just told the client that no, you're not aware of any material facts, you're not aware of any of these things that has ever gone on with your house, and then the buyer buys the house and then discovers that there is something indeed that you should have known about, then you could be on the hook. And the disclosures are what I think of those as your exhibit A. That is like the first defense that you're going to have should you get hauled into court for a lawsuit, because real estate is a very litigious process. And one of the biggest reasons sellers get sued is because they failed to disclose something. So you want to make sure that you go through it with a fine tooth comb, answer each and every question thoughtfully, correctly, and then you can explain anything that you need to explain. So I had a client once who I sent out all of the disclosures and he just marked no on everything. And one of the questions on there was, have you had any pest services? And he marked no. Well, escrow closes, buyer takes possession of the house, buyer's moving in. And as they're moving in, they see that there is a huge big swarm of bees that are buzzing all around the garage. And so they call a bee guy to come out and take care of the bees, remove the bees. And the bee guy goes, oh, I was just out here last year. So they must have come back. And they're like, you were just here last year? He's like, yeah, we got rid of the bees last year, but I guess bees come back frequently to the same place. They're like, well, we were never told that there had been a bee problem. So sure enough, they call us up. They actually hired a lawyer and they wanted my client's disclosures. And sure enough, on the line that said, have you had any pest stuff? Of course, he marked no. And so my client ended up having to pay to have all of this. It turned out there was like 5 gallons of honey in the walls. And my client had to actually pay to have this whole entire thing redone because he just rushed through disclosures, didn't care, and marked no on everything. So you want to make sure that you take time and you fill those out as truthfully as you can. Now, you may not know all the material facts. I did have another case where buyers move in and they go to do some remodeling and they discover there's all this mold in the walls. And they also came back to my client and we pulled disclosures, and my client indicated no, she's not aware that there could be any water intrusion or anything that could have led to this, because she wasn't aware. I mean, she didn't know that there was mold growing inside the walls. Evidently there was some sort of a pipe that had been leaking inside of there, and there had been no other evidence of it. So if you don't know about something, you can't disclose it, certainly, but you want to make sure that you disclose any material facts that you do. And there's always a rule in real estate: when in doubt, disclose. So that is my answer there. Now, if you're in a situation where you are getting a divorce, and if you do not live in the home, my recommendation is that you ask for your own set of disclosures, because you need to be able to indicate that you are not living in the property. You may not know that the toilet started leaking 2 days ago, and you may not necessarily trust your spouse who's living in the house that they're going to disclose everything correctly. So you want to make sure you indicate, I don't live in the home. So I don't have intimate knowledge of what's going on in the home right now. And yet you can also disclose anything that you did know that went on, while you were in possession of the home. So if you're getting a divorce, ask for your own set of disclosures and fill those out. Your realtor might think that that's a little bit weird, or that's a little bit of an unconventional way to do things. That's okay. Just let them know, I want my own set because I don't live in the property. The other spouse lives in the property. So I want my own opportunity to disclose what I know to be true and correct. Hope this helps. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below, because I do read those comments and I will get back to you. And if this was helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me for more real estate tips. Have a great day.